ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, some modest gains so far to start the week on Wall Street.
Scott, you're absolutely right, and I guess modest gains are certainly better than modest losses. And I have to look back at the first almost full 5 months of this year. Hard to believe, but Memorial Day is just next Monday. And going into the Memorial Day week, if you will, so far this year with all the wild triple-digit swings, listen to these numbers. Year to date, the best performing major index is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which shows a gain of 0.44. That's less than 0.5%. That's the best performer. Next comes the Standard & Poor's 500 index, and its gain year to date is 0.41. In other words, both of them are up, both of them by less than 0.5%. The laggard is the NASDAQ, which so far this year is down by 4.5%. So if you're looking at your brokerage statement, it looks very similar to the way it did at the beginning of the year. No surprise. Welcome to Wall Street. Let's take a look at the figures from today. And as Scott and I both said, very modest gains. There you see the Dow up 33 points, almost 0.2% at 17,534.12 on volume of 420 million shares. The NASDAQ for the day up almost 14 points, 0.3% at 4,782.26. That on volume of 804 million shares. And the S&P, yes, it's up, albeit barely, 0.02%, right now at 2,053.37. Well, you may recall we've talked about Monsanto and the massive takeover bid it received from Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R, as in Germany's Bayer aspirin. Well, now the offer has been increased. The offer is now $62 billion. That's a 20% increase in price over just last Friday's offer and a 37% increase in price over the original offer, which was just back on the 10th of May. If this deal goes through, it will certainly be the largest takeover we've seen so far this year. And shares of Monsanto are up 4.5% today. They're up very substantially in the last, well, since May the 10th. And Scott, as you can imagine, when a company comes along and offers $62 billion, that gets your attention. And there are a lot of people in St. Louis, where Monsanto is based, who hope this deal does not go through because they don't want to lose control. But at that price, it's hard to say no.
Yeah, 62 with a B. Yeah,
with
it's
a
big
B.
number.
Exactly right.
All right, Richard, you'll be back at 5 with the closing numbers.
I'll be here with a B for better. How's that?
All right, sounds great. Thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.